Well, as promised, talking with Ian here at Site Matters, I'm getting used to it myself. All the logoing has been changing outside, I notice. It looks very nice, I have to say. Why the change? Because Manx Blind Welfare does what it says on the tin, I suppose, as much as anything else, isn't it?
You're absolutely right, and I think it's very important from the outset to say that Manx Blind Welfare Society is our charity, and it will remain our charity, certainly as long as I or our trustees or the staff here are in post. It's very important to stress that the name, which was brought about by an Act of Tynwald in 1936, sits at the heart of everything we do. Having said that, the name is not as user-friendly, perhaps, as it ought to be in terms of modern-day parlance and understanding. And we have colleagues, professional colleagues, health services, allied health professionals, other departments of government and other key stakeholders who refer into us, who have been saying to us for a number of years, the word blind and the word welfare conjure up perhaps mixed messages. If you've been recently diagnosed with sight loss and there's an opportunity to be supported by our organisation, the word blind may start to have a depressing effect on your psyche. The word welfare conjures up all ideas about charity and perhaps people thinking that they're going to end up a benefit statistic when they really don't need to. Sight Matters is much more friendly, we believe, and I think when people hear that, I doubt if they would be put off in terms of building a relationship with us. And we've been very careful to consult over our name over a period of around about 18 months, which included talking to around about 50 members, other key stakeholders. I should say I had an interesting debate with the ophthalmology team up at Nobles Hospital, and they were very open, honest and frank with us about the importance perhaps of us giving consideration to a name change. And I was quite surprised, if I'm being honest with you, Paul, at how many of our members felt that our name was not perhaps all that it should be in terms of conveying the message, and a message that's conducive for people to come and use our services.
Has what you do here changed, though? Is it still the same?
Well, it really hasn't changed exponentially. Our key message is still the same as it always was. But as any organisation now, as we look to the future and we see changes into the health service, Manx Care coming into place, we want to play our part in that bigger picture of integrated care on the island. And so we've just developed a strategic vision for the next 5 years that will be on our website, and our new website is due to come up online probably at the end of August. Our Facebook page has already changed to Site Matters, and that will allow people to understand how we're transforming some elements of our service. I think perhaps one of the biggest changes we've had in recent years has been some refocusing on younger people. People who work in this kind of environment are quite often associated with people who are much older, and we tend to think of sight loss as being something which is associated with old age. It isn't necessarily. And we've got a very active young people's group here now on the island, and it's receiving such good recognition that we were asked to go to the National Conference for Blind Societies in the UK at Aston University, and we made a presentation there about the work we're doing, and we've had 2 visits from societies in the UK. So we're very excited about that. And this facility, and I'm sorry, Paul, I'm going on a bit, but we don't believe there's a facility with this composition anywhere in the United Kingdom.
How do people, you and customers, I think, or clients, what you want to call them, how do you make contact? Is it something that it just happens from Nobles Hospital, for instance, or do people come to you and look for help?
So there's a real mixture. We have some walk-ins. We quite often have family referrals. I had a referral the other day, obviously I won't use any names, about a lady who's been thinking about using our services for quite some time, but was nervous about doing so. And that referral came through a family friend. Health services refer into us, and we're about to engage in a partnership arrangement with health services, which we're hoping will focus more referrals into our organisation.
Because I could ask that, because it's like people losing anything like deaf or whatever. people don't necessarily want to admit it almost, and blindness is one of those things that can creep up in you slightly.
It really is, and if you lose your sight, and of course you'll understand, I've come across a lot of people, and my colleagues more so, over the years, the feeling associated with sight loss is often referred to by psychologists as similar to that, to the sense of bereavement that we feel when we lose a close family member, but that quite often that feeling will stay with us for a very long time. So working with blind and visually impaired people is a real privilege, and the quicker we get a contact with them, we can make some positive interventions, the quicker we can change their life story.
Right, well, you've got a new website coming, but at the minute you can still get you on where's the best place to find you on the internet? Or
yeah, so you can find us at sightmatters.im.
You think about that, don't you?
I had to think about that. I'm much more familiar with the old Facebook page. So you've caught me out, Paul.
Right.
But you know,
we'll
before
put it on the screen.
Before you've done with me, I'm wearing a jacket that says the Freedom Field.
Yeah.
And I wondered whether I could just mention, give a little plug to something.
Yeah.
What we were hoping to do in terms of how we manage this facility, we're hoping, particularly with people in the near area, in the Onken area, or wider afield, we're hoping to engage the services around about 20 new volunteers who we're going to call, wait for it, Freedom Field Rangers. Okay,
right.
They'll all get one of these swanky jackets,
yeah.
And if you've got a dog, you'll be able to exercise your dog in this space as well. And part of the payback is you've got to pick up that mucky dog stuff that some dogs leave behind. The facility will be open to the public as well, but that'll be on at certain times, and we're still working through our opening hours, but we're so excited about getting some more people involved.
I wish you all the best with this, and the part one will explain more about this part of it while we're sitting here, and in general, just to finish that message, if people think it's time for a little bit of assistance, there's no harm in reaching out, is there?
Definitely not. Now's the time. We're looking forward to hearing from you.